Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. We are returning to Novice, where we have been establishing our little starter base. So, after the last episode, I finished up instantiating the furnaces up here, the smelter lines, and I set up the blueprints to show where they're going to go eventually. But that's it. Now we need to set up a little mini base here. I'm thinking if I can set up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, leave that for spacing. I can set up a green chip line here. So we need to make some copper and some green chips. And we end up with a belt going out here that will have green chips on the top half. That's cool. On the bottom half, we could put a line up here and we could put iron gears. Now let me get some power into these guys so we can see what we're doing. So that's our geometry. What I want to do is have a through line of straight assemblers, just like that. And then we will use long-handled assemblers for the output there and the input there. Let's get our guys set up here real quick. Okay. There we go. We need to manually set the filters for the green chips here and for the iron gear wheels there. Now if I mirror this, it's not quite right, but it's pretty close. We're going to do that. There we go. And you are all set up. I would be guessing on how many of these I need. I'm going to put in 3 repetitions of this. Get myself a fair supply. So 1 rep of this, if I bring up the rate calculator per minute, this says that we would be making 120 gears per minute, and we would be making 120 electronic circuits per minute, except we're only doing 2/3 of the cable that we need. So this is really going to be 80. That's all right. That should be enough. Now, until we actually have more things automated, I am going to leave these guys marked out. I'm going to put in another gap here where we start doing things with this. So red science is gears plus copper. So if I could bring the gears out this way, let's trim this back. I don't know where my auxiliary iron is going to go yet. But if I could bring the gears and the copper together and feed it to science. We'll do science up here. Yeah. So I am going to need an output. Now, normally these guys have twice as much input as output. So I will need an auxiliary line of iron coming in and the gears coming out. I'm going to flip that vertically. It's exactly the same layout. No point to not putting those there. I won't try to stripe the rest of the inserters in because these, they would wipe out my assembler ghosts. Okay, so that's got some of those coming in. So if I bring the copper up here, I should be able to do a side-by-side on there. You were not supposed to do that. Do I have smart belts turned on or off? Settings, interface. Smart belt building, let's turn that on. So now if I'm moving belts around, I can just stripe it through like that. Now we do have another belt of copper down there we can deal with. And we'll think about what to do with that later. There. Now the other thing I'm going to put in here is we are going to be making green science. So we'll do that. So if I start from here, I put 2 green sciences down, 2 red sciences like that. Let's get the power in. Just like that. And our science is going to come back this way, and we're going to route that to an array somewhere that sends that to labs. So now we pick our scale. These guys have a 5-second crafting time, and these have a 6-second crafting time. So I'm going to do 6 of these and 5 of those. Boom, boom, just like that. Come on. Okay. And I don't want to be running myself out of resources yet. So let's just put in the first couple of them. So that's got the red science making. Now we need the green science. Well, this guy, this requires belts and inserters, and I have a plan. I'm going to put in belts and inserters just like that. I have a very much of a plan on this one. Okay, so power is sent through. The idea is that I'm going to put these guys out, sending their output to boxes, and then I'm going to also send output to this belt. Okay, and then I'm going to split the belt and have it also going out to the right. And that belt needs to be just so we can bring it in here. So that is exactly the right distance. Yay! So somewhere I have fancy boxes. If I bring it out to here, it will be able to insert to the guy on the right. So this is a transport belt, and this is a transport belt. And this is going to be a inserter, and this is going to be a inserter. Just like that. And I placed them so that the power line would just come right up in the middle. Okay. So now I want to make these so that it's a rational amount of stuff we're building. So if I connect the boxes together, now we only produce new stuff when the boxes total have less stuff in them. And these guys, we just want to filter down to what it is they're forwarding. One other thing I want to do is I only want to send these out to make science if there's a minimum amount in, I want to leave at least some in the boxes. So let's red wire connecting there and connecting there. So these guys will keep producing until there's 250 inserters or 500 of those, right? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a limit here, enable if the number of inserters is greater than 150. So we won't draw down below 150. And this guy is going to be belts greater than 300. So we won't draw these boxes down below 300 belts. And that will give us a little bus up here that has has belts and inserters, which will be used for making other things. So let's get these guys working. Okay. You are the long handle when you do not have access to plate. You only have access to plate, so there's your filter. And you are just gears. Just like that. So we now have full automation of belts and inserters. The other thing I want to do is I do want to have provision for putting these guys out into a stock area. I'm going to put fancy boxes in here so we can use them. You are collecting gears, and you are collecting circuits. That'll do. So how many of these do we want? Well, 1,000 is a whole lot. I'm going to collect just one stack of those, and I think just one stack at a time. The only reason I want to pick these up by hand is if I am delivering them back to the Nanobase, because I am not doing any hand builds right now. In fact, let's put you guys away and put you guys away. There we go. So up here, we're going to be doing belts and inserters. More to the point, I want to be building logistics 2, because we do want to be adding stuff out here that's going to be red belts, the red undergrounds, and the red splitters. Now, I can go up here. I could drop these down to see what the recipes are. So we are going to say you are making that belt, and you are making undergrounds and red undergrounds and splitters and red splitters. So I can use those as a guide to how I'm building this area down here. And we're not going to have any science for a while. These need to fill up with their 150 and 300. Also, what we're going to be building out there is going to be building the inserters that use yellow. So we're going to be building red inserters and blue inserters. And it's going to be well before we have the green inserters, so we won't worry about those quite yet. Well, don't worry about those yet, or if I make a reservation for, what does this use? Oh, this uses red chips, so we're not gonna do this. Okay. So these are the things we want to put down there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay out two of you guys in a row. So take this. Let's take the whole thing, bring it down just under here where I can watch it. Two of these, and you require gears and green chips. So we want to get gears in here and here. And you have your output, and we're going to use the fancies. So we're going to do red belts and red belts. It's going to be all like this. We're going to bring that across so that we're controlling the total. And this guy is filtered so that we indicate that we are moving fast transport belts. And from above, I am going to need to pull down the other input, which is, there we go, like that. I'm going to leave these ghosted because we don't want to start filling this up with materials. If I actually put these all in place, we would start pulling materials into the assemblers, even though we don't know how to, we don't actually have it unlocked yet. Hey, there we go. Starting to get some belts out there. So you are covered. Okay. These two I'm going to put out together. Okay. Now, this requires one of these as inputs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have my fancy box outputting here. This is sending out underground belts. Here's my output for the red belts, red undergrounds. And there. You are going to be forwarding the undergrounds. Come on. Focus. Like this. Again, we are going to put the total, and we're going to end up with it in here. I am not going to fill in the rest of this stuff until we know how to make them. Well, until we've unlocked them. There we go. And we need to have a long-handled inserter here, which is giving us belts. And that's where you can pick up the extra belts. Okay. That takes care of those guys. These in place. Okay, so this again needs to be forwarded to there, so we're going to do the same kind of layout. You are doing splitters, and you are doing red splitters. Okay, there you go. Connect these two together, so you only output if the total there is under your limit. We do need to have these also set up with the other limit. So this guy is sending out to 250. We're going to let this draw down to 150. Don't worry about the edge effects. If I'm grabbing if I'm grabbing 3 per stack, that might go down to 148. I really don't care. Enable when splitter is greater than 150. Okay, so we will build up to 250 in there, but never draw it down below 150, and ditto there. Okay, now you need both of those. Okay, so we need to have you there, and just green chips on the far one. Right? Right. This guy will require green chips and gears, but it doesn't require plate. And we're not going to actually build it until we've unlocked those. And now, inserters. You are using yellow inserters. You're using yellow inserters. The blue inserters will be needed to make green later on, but we don't have red belts, and we won't have red belts for quite a while. So I'm not going to worry about them. You are producing red like that. Power goes there. You are producing blue inserters here. And there we go. Boom, boom. Again, this guy's going to require gears, and this guy is going to require green chips. And you both require the plate. I should have noted that. Okay, there we go. Yeah. There you go. And now we are pulling down from here the yellow inserters. Just like that. And that takes care of you guys. So our mini base now has more stuff in it. We have the underground and splitters all set. We have these guys all set. We do not yet have pipes. We do not yet have lamps. And I need to also copy in lamps into my build. I think these guys have space enough to put lamps in. I could put one there. The problem with using these small poles is when things get really busy like this, there's no place left to put the lamps in. These lamps can go here just fine. In fact, normally I'd put them in here. I think I will. There. Now over here, We are really congested for space here. Let's ghost the lamps in and then fill them in. That's actually not a bad idea, since that spot is open on all of them. So we do need to automate the lamps, though. So lamps take iron plate, copper cable, and electronic circuit. Iron plate, copper cable, electronic circuit. We don't have copper cable. Oh. Well, goodness. It sounds like I need to do something down here. So we put that there and that there. Hold on, that's not right. I think. Yes, I am using Dolly Picker. Yay! So hold down Shift and use the arrow keys, and I've got an add-on that allows me to move things around, and it is such a time saver. It doesn't change anything about how you play, but it does make things a little bit sweeter. Okay, you need an output. Yeah, I neglected to leave a space for you to output here. Her to her. So iron goes down like that. You are not iron. You are also not copper. You are iron only. Maybe a place this comes out. You know what I could do? This guy is probably not going to be running 100% of the time. There. We'll fill the rest of this in later when we need more green chips. And that allows me to put my lamps down here. There we go. So let's go back here and look at this again. We do not yet have pipes or iron chests. Let's do iron chests and pipes in here. I think I've got space for 3. Yes, I do. So I'm going to start right off here with the iron chest. Not steel. Iron. Thank you. Okay, that keeps things lined up. And your output there, iron chests. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to emphasize we want to automate building everything in this space, because once we get into the space age stuff and we go elsewhere, we will need to reach back at using robots, do all the building with robots, and that requires that everything is already in place. Okay, so pipes and pipe to ground. I'm going to put in pipes here, which means it can come back in here, which means pipe to ground needs to go here, like that. You are doing pipes. You are doing pipe to ground. Like that. These guys need to be using the filters. Okay, we are producing up to 500 pipes. I'm going to allow this to draw us down to... Actually, I'm going to do 300 and 200. 500 is a lot of pipes. We won't need that many for a long time, so I'm going to allow you to draw down to... actually, let's do 150. 100 and 150. And your upper limit's 150. There we go. So much more modest production of pipes. Now you require iron and pipes, and we only need 150 undergrounds. There we go. So back to the list. Okay, check. And these guys are checked off. These guys are checked off. We're not doing burner inserters. Small electric poles would require wood. I don't want to put production from wood in this area. Yeah, we're shifting from wooden boxes to iron boxes, and we will be shifting to better poles shortly. He's done. Okay. Now we get into the juicy stuff. These two, yeah, I will have to set up machines to do those a la carte later on. Let's start off with doing electric mining drills and assembling machines. These guys require iron plate, gear wheels, and circuits, so it's basically this stuff again. I'm going to start it here. Okay. Well, let's do mining drills and then these guys. Now, we will be grabbing from the assembling machine and combining it with steel to make assembling machine 2s, and that will happen in this base. So I think I'm going to leave a couple of blank spots here. There we go. The long-handled ones are the iron, and the short-handled ones are not. Okay. Outputs are mining and assembling machines. Now this will loop over to the other assembler. That may require some extra juiciness on this. Actually, I'm thinking that when I get assembly machine 2s in, the only reason we will even have a chest here is for putting the old stuff back in as we upgrade. So we'll worry about that when we get to it. So that's done, and that's done. Let's get labs done. I'm going to skip 2, so we have a space for... Oh, we are out. Oh, no. Let's go get him from the big pile. And while we're at it, what have we automated here that I can get rid of? We've done these. We've done these. Probably best to take the inserters out first. There we go. We've done these. We have now done these. Oh my goodness, all sorts of stuff we have completed here. Don't think we've done the radars yet. We came to get these, so I'll grab them. Those are done. These are done. These are done. Whoops. And actually that is done, so I didn't need to undo that. Ditto here. And these are not. So little by little, notice we've picked up a whole bunch of stuff, kind of prioritize getting all that going. Suppose I could put the radars in next to him. What were you again? You were labs. Yeah, lab and radar can go in here. So the labs require, more stuff. So you are going to go up here because you need it from there. Okay. You are not getting those from below, and you are not getting those from above. Okay, your output is science labs, and I'm going to limit you to 50. That's fine. That's a lot more labs than we will need for a while, but once we start building the main base, having these labs available to us will be convenient. And I'm going to go ahead and put the radar up here, even though you don't really require anything from above. Radar. There you are. Limit you to 50 radars. It's a stack. It's more than we'll need ever. But yeah, it's cheap. Okay, back to the list. These are all done. Offshore pumps, maybe? We're definitely going to need them in the other base, but this base, I don't think so. That's done. These guys are being sequestered. I think this is it. I think we've got these set up until we have steel. Let's get the rest of this built up. Okay, so those are going. Make sure all of these are actually in place. Sometimes the ghosts and the real things are hard for me to tell apart, so we'll just do that. Now we need to bring iron in here. So that's where this guy comes in. Okay, red and green science. So now we need a place to actually do our research. I'm going to tack that in just above these guys. I could do it over to the right, but it makes Makes it hard to expand things. Am I going to expand things? I don't know. I could assume that we're not going to be doing blue or military science until we have our belt base, and that would actually make this really super easy. And if we change our mind on that, I can always fix things up. So because we're only going to be doing 2 kinds of science, this gets super easy. Science labs. Here and here. I'm going to put 6 across. Okay. These guys are going to be filtered to indicate that they are expecting to pick up the red science and the green science. There we go. And now we're going to pick all this up, and I'm going to do it out to there. So we're thinking, what is this, 18 of these guys? 18 of these guys total. That's fine. Are we making them? Why aren't we making them? You guys are waiting on green chips. That's fine. We can at least get one machine down. Yeah, 2 of them. Okay, so we have some science going now. Once logistics trips, we will be able to make this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start filling them in. Like that. Because we are almost there. Okay, so now it's just a matter of waiting. We are currently 43 minutes in, so I am going to draw a curtain and let some time pass, and I will be right back. And here we are. So a little bit of time passed, and we got things to where we were making some science labs. So I put out the science labs, and I filled in the rest of the stuff. We should be ready to go here. So let's take a quick look at this, make sure we're flowing the way we want. Well, first thing I notice is we don't have anywhere near enough iron. So we're only producing half a belt here. I am going to set this up so we sweeten the belt down here. There's actually a way to do this that's a little bit more semi-compact. Well, anyway, this works. So I'm going to boost this just a little bit. We have science flowing. I'm not sure how it does its remaining time estimate. It's not based on the average through the entire thing, because you also says science per minute 36, which is where we are right now. Okay. So we are processing 36 science per minute. Clearly, it's using the very right-hand bit of the graph. 191. Okay, we're just going to wait this out. I'm not going to bother to accelerate time. What is to wait until we have all of these turned on and verify that we actually get stuff. Actually, okay, there we go. So I'm going to accelerate time a bit, and we're going to watch it produce me some red stuff. Or not. Okay, you are waiting on transport belts. Clearly, I didn't put these in. You are waiting on gears. That's because I got the wrong one here. Okay. Wow, you need a lot of gears, don't you? You are looking for this guy. So you've only got 50 out of the 150. You're willing to go up to that. I guess we're just waiting for you to get more stuff. Yeah, you see all of our green chips are going way out here? Okay, so these guys are hungry for green, and we're not going to get anything downstream. I think I'm going to call it an episode here. This is our starter base. Well, our mini base. Microbase? Anyway, it's the teeny tiny bits that produce just enough stuff so that we can continue building the base. Was there anything else left over here that I needed to copy over? Well, let's see. This guy, we will just have a machine for him. Tell you what, I will. I'm going to copy him over in map mode just so we know we need to think about him. We don't need any of these right away. Okay. Next thing is these, and I did get them in. Yep, right there. Okay, radar. Boxes and assembling machines. Or excuse me, boxes and furnaces. And this guy. I'm just going to copy all of this stuff over in map mode so we know that we still need to think about it. We don't yet have stone being brought into our mini base. That will allow me to pick these up. That did not get rid of all of my wood. Oh, he's full. Okay. We'll leave these ghosted. we'll have to work out in the future where we want to put them when we need more of those. Ditto him. He can go down there. This base looks fairly clean. I kind of like it. Obviously, we could increase our iron supply just by expanding this. But what I really want to do is get everything upgraded to red belts. So let's leave these set to building tremendously large numbers of stuff. Let's say 2,000 red belts. 250 of those is a large number. So we now have large numbers of red things being built. That's what we wanted. And the other thing we want to stretch for next is I think we're going to go steel in the next episode. So stay tuned. I will see you then.